Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Double Feature Podcast. This week, we got three topics that we're going to be talking about. But before we get into it, please, if you guys can do us a favor, like this video, subscribe, click the bell, all that. If you end up enjoying this, if you end up listening to this, if you like this type of content, you like movies, TV, pop culture, anything like that, go ahead and do us that. It's free, and we would very much appreciate it. As always, all the links are down in the description below for like our social medias and all that. So feel free to follow us over there and stay up to date with our activities. But we have three topics, like I said. One of them will be probably pretty short at the end because we'll be talking about a movie that's been out for like a week now. But the other two is the recent premiere of one show and the episode of another. But we're gonna get into the first topic, which is Gen V season 2 premiered this week. They dropped their first 3 episodes, big batch. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the 3 episodes, how we're picking up off of the first season and the events of The Boys.
Did they release the first season like that? I'm having trouble.
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, but I guess we're going to go ahead and get into it. If you guys have not watched Gen V season 2, we're going to probably spoil something at some point. So yeah, if you aren't or don't want spoilers for this, maybe you haven't watched The Boys season 4, probably click off, watch that, and then you can come back.
Yeah.
But if you have, we reacted to Gen V season 1, so if you guys can go watch those too. But this is taking place right after obviously the events of Gen V season 1, but also a big part of the season is jumping off of The Boys season 4 and the kind of starlighters and super meta humans or these compound V individuals versus the humans and kind of what they set up in season 4. And a lot of that is in this
going
season.
Along with it. Yeah, they're kind of taking it in stride. I think you get some of that stuff in the first season. It's just not as like big a plot element as it is now. But yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to the way that they're kind of interconnecting these two things, I feel like they've been, just kind of putting some characters in and out and kind of making things just seem like they're in the same world. And yeah. I think it's doing a good job. I want to see where it's like really how it's all gonna climax. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, we do you want to get into it?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna give a brief recap of what has happened in these 3 episodes.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, the actor who plays Andre passed away. I remember when that news first hit.
Chance.
I remember when that news first hit. It was crazy, and they've kind of used that and implemented it into the story to give it like a more emotional core, something to kind of hold everything together while we're putting pieces on the table. So that's a huge effect to obviously the characters that all knew him in this season. But in the midst of all this, we discover a project. What is it? Project
Odessa.
This project that was happening way back in like the 60s called Project Odessa with Thomas Godolkin, played by Ariana Grande's boyfriend. But yeah, we were basically trying to uncover what that entire mystery is and how some of these people might potentially be connecting to that, particularly this new dean that we have that seems to be pretty influential, and he seems very suspicious and has something going on behind the scenes way more. And during all of this, we are still trying to figure out everything with Marie's sister and where she's at, and also Emma and Andre's dad are kind of doing their own thing and trying to figure out and uncover this Project Odessa. On top of this, there's little tiny things like I guess I could I just had it on the top of my head, but I'm forgetting it now. I don't know. It's something else. I'm forgetting. Is anything else happening during this season so far?
I mean, obviously you have them breaking out, or we're getting broken out of.
Kate, that's what I
I
was
forget.
thinking of. Kate.
I forget
Kate
what they're
gets
calling it. Oh yeah.
really injured, and this causes her to have kind of some dirt on them, and I'm curious where this goes exactly, um,
Me too.
because she's already been
Kate is a bit
through.
of a complicated character. She's kind of like bouncing in and out. She's
She's
kind of
very
like
unpredictable.
befriending. Yeah, she's very unpredictable. She's kind of like befriending, kind of being slimy behind the scenes, kind of being just a straight up dickhead, like in your face,
Hmm.
like to the same, and maybe to like the same characters. Um, yeah, I don't know. She's a bit of a question, but yeah, they all break out and they get into a little altercation after like looking for Marie and finding her, and Marie's kind of like, why, like, fuck Kate, why would you bring Kate, and ends up straight up just splitting her head on, just spewing her her brain and all of her head blood onto the ground. And then after that, obviously Kate, she gets all good and all fine and dandy after that. I think there's like a little sequence where they're kind of testing everybody's powers amidst all of this. The dean is kind of making everybody kind of come into their own
She's
power,
trying to make them
said power use, which I
stronger.
appreciate, because that's kind of something that uh, like was missing in the first season that I didn't know I needed. But
We
now
didn't
that I'm
quite
seeing it, I'm
explore it, but I
like,
think it's
okay,
because of the world now with this superheroes versus humans thing. The dean clearly wants to make them as strong as
strong
possible,
as they are, yeah, yeah,
and yeah,
I see that, but I just feel like that would just be normal, like being a part of campus life, because isn't the whole part of like college to further your knowledge and further your education?
yeah,
I just
yeah.
feel like that would be the next step. But again, it's something I didn't know I needed, but now that we're getting it, I really like it. I'm curious to see how they grow into their power sets and how
Hmm.
stronger they get, because already I can see Marie's power sets already a bit different from the first season. Already, like they're a bit more, they're a bit stronger, obviously, but they're like more like, for lack of a better word, visible. Like you can just see what Marie, and like you can see the confidence when she's using it a little bit more too. So I'm curious to see that stuff. And then obviously, you can't forget the ending of particularly episode 3, with Jordan kind of just telling everybody that didn't know, because I guess it was under wraps that Andre had died. Um, she kind of just tells everybody that he's dead, and that it was because of her, or that she's the one that injured Kate, instead of it being Marie, obviously. And then Emma's on her own little Starlight side quest, because Starlight had talked to Marie earlier about
Yeah, she
something,
told
and
Marie to
they want to talk about
find
the
out about Project Odessa, and then
Odessa, yeah. And
they
so
find out that Odessa is linked directly to Marie for some reason,
with
and
Professor Polarity,
yeah, and this is where the questions start coming out, because now we're basically trying to figure out what exactly is Project Odessa, how the dean plays into that, and who was affected by this. Now, the first thought that came to my head as the show progressed was Marie's sister, because everything is kind of hinting at Marie being the person. I feel like it's such a misdirect that they're doing,
yeah,
but knowing that this happened in the 60s, it could also be something that, or someone that was affected by it in the 60s, which then led me to believe maybe it was Marie's parents, possibly. I don't know. I'm very curious how exactly this connects to Marie specifically, and why we need to figure this out so bad. And as for the character stuff, you know, Jordan and Marie's love is more stronger, and Emma is, Emma. She's the best. She's like
love
she.
that's my little cricket right there, bro. I really
I
love
love her
him.
personality. She's kind of she's kind of putting together her own crew of Starlighters right now at the end of episode three.
I like it. I especially like it because of how much you can see um Andre's death affecting Emma. And I like that Emma is kind of taking it on her own to kind of be that good
Spread that
person that Andre
same.
was and spread that, yeah, spread that
Yeah,
same
yeah.
love like to people that kind of could use it and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, if you want to get into like your thoughts on the first three episodes, though, like
I think it's.
I'm pretty sure we're all caught up. That's just about all that's
Yeah,
been
that's pretty much the recap
hinted
of it.
at
There's little
throughout the
character
season.
moments,
I'm
but
pretty sure that's the reason they
it's.
dropped the first three episodes is because you can very much tell that like at the end of episode three,
Things are
that's
gonna
kind of
roll.
where things kind of are gonna kick off and really
Yeah.
start moving. But yeah, go ahead and give your
Yeah,
thoughts.
I really enjoyed these three episodes. I honestly think the latter two were the best ones. I think episode one started off, a little bit where we got to get back into things. It's setting up stuff. The editing was like not good in the
Jar-
first episode.
Yeah, it was jarring
And
in a lot of
they were
places.
like, they were resolving everything from the boy season. Well, not really the boy season 4, but everything from Gen V. They're resolving it like extremely quick and thinly, but it was clearly to get into this new plot, like which is okay. So the first season had to sacrifice, or the first episode had to sacrifice a little bit, but the second episode was much better. Actually, a really good episode, and the third episode was like just as good to me. I still prefer the second episode, but the third episode had some interesting things in it still. And I'm liking what they're doing with some of these characters. Particularly, I just like Jordan's involvement in this story much more. Just better all
Yeah,
around. I feel like they're making a much bigger impact than they did in the last season. And Emma's, lovable as always. I love her personality. I like that Andre's dad is getting into this. I wanted polarity
me
way
too.
more
I
in that
really
last
like it.
season, and I like that he's gonna be in this a lot more. And as for Marie, I think she is so compelling. She's just so interesting, and her ceiling as a superhero is
Really,
ridiculously high.
she could like easily be one of the seven,
Yeah,
and like
which makes
easily
me want to see where she goes. So yeah,
with the
as for these
oh
three
yeah.
episodes, I think it's very much Gen V. It's not trying to be something insanely different. It's trying to be as consistent as possible. Gen V is in its own little niche in this boys universe where it's connected to the boys, but like it's not as big or as eventful as the boys. So it
Yeah.
doesn't need to do things like so ridiculously at a ridiculous level on cloud 9 10 out of 10 times 24/7 like
They'll give you little breadcrumbs, like
right.
it'll
but
give you like a
but
scene or
they're
two of some
more
wild shit, but
they're
it's a
more
lot more condensed and focused
yes,
than the
they are
boys.
far more concerned with kind of telling these characters stories and things like that, which they
A
can.
lot
They're
like the
in their
early
own.
seasons of the boys.
Yeah,
To be
they're
fair,
all in their own little box, and I think while the boys season 5 will come out, and yes, it'll be talked to death about. But Gen V has this little corner where they get to play in their own sandbox, in their own niche, where some people talk about it for a little bit until it's over, and that's where they keep it. And I appreciate that they're not trying to turn it into event television or anything like that. They're sticking to what made the first season so good, which is kind of like these characters' friendship and the hijinks they go through. It almost is like a college road trip movie, like just extended into a series with all these
yeah.
thrills and stuff. But it being in the boys universe just like ups the ante, but also like you're allowed to play so much with the ridiculousness of things. They're pretty much parodying everything every season.
Yeah.
And so, you get those things. But yeah, at the core, I really like what they're doing so far with all these characters. I'm so curious how all these things start to converge. But go ahead and give your thoughts
No,
on Gen
no,
V
me too.
so far.
No, yeah, me too. I think the most thing I'm curious about is the fucking Dean. He's a little weirdo. But yeah, as far as the first three episodes go, I do agree. I think think episode 1 is my least favorite. I think there are some editing issues definitely in that episode, some straight up jarring editing moments, and like a good amount of them, so much so that like it starts to
And some
become
ADR,
very
some
noticeable.
off
But
ADR in
yeah,
there.
yeah, I don't know what happened with that episode. They were yeah, I don't know. But episode 2 quickly it quickly picks it back up with the honestly what I think is a really good episode, just as good as episode 3 to me. I like the stuff that they do in terms of, figuring out more stuff about Odessa and Emma's kind of adventure with Professor Polarity.
Hmm.
I think it does. I'm really like I do agree with you that I'm really liking what they're giving Polarity so far in this
I
season,
love
because
his
I feel like it's
involvement.
a I do too. I feel like it's a worthy it's a very worthy like addition, given Andre's death and his
Yeah.
dad, not getting much in the first season. And I think they're actually doing a good job, handling that whole thing along with like Emma. And I think there's some real like there's some real heart behind that. I like that a lot. I think Marie's whole story with Jordan and her whole like little back and forth little tug of war with Jordan in terms of, their relationship. I really like in the first two episodes. I like especially where it goes in the third episode. But yeah, I just really like what they're giving Jordan. They're making her a bigger part this season. They're giving her that like she's ranked number one. They're giving her that like that real shine this season, and I'm liking it. She's she's letting it go with flying colors, and I like the way all of these characters are kind of using Andre's death as motivation, for everything that they're all doing. Because if you really think about the first season, Andre did have that kind of impact on not only these characters but just those people around the school. So I like that death actually means something, and I hope that after the ending of episode 3 that it turns into something maybe a bit bigger. But yeah, again, the first episode, whatever, like you're getting back into it. The second episode, I really liked. I thought it picked things up. I think the third episode also was really strong, though. I think specifically the conversation that Marie has with her aunt is really good. I think that stuff gives Marie a lot of depth and makes her so much more of a nuanced character. And I think adding in the sister, if she gets added in this season, whatever she is, whether she likes Marie or doesn't like Marie, I think that'll just add another layer of like nuance to her character. And like I just really appreciated that. And I really like the Sam and Jordan conversation in episode 3. I really liked the dialogue in it, and how it kind of leads up to Jordan telling Marie that she loves her back. I like that whole like just sequence. And again, I got to talk about it. The stuff with the fucking dean. Look, I like the way that the dean is playing this guy. I really do. And it's very like it's very calm in a very chilling, weird manner. Um, but I what I also like is that the way that they're utilizing the dean is very different. In the first season, they barely Clancy Brown was barely even a thing in the first season. Obviously, I mean, he ends up dying too, doesn't he? Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not misremembering. Yeah, yeah. He ends up dying, so like he barely has anything. I love how they're utilizing the dean so far. I want to see what it ultimately comes out to, and like what more will happen. But it seems like they're just hiding so much, like
Seems like he has
beneath
a hand
beneath
in
the like
this project,
yeah, and
Odessa.
again, he really he really likes the idea of soups, and he kind of rejects the
Do we
idea of
know
being
his powers?
less than that, and that's what I'm
Yeah,
so
I'm
interested in.
curious.
What are his
What
powers?
can he do?
Because it really makes me wonder. But yeah, I think so far, like at total as a series, I think this is a good first 3 episodes. I think building off of episode 3, the cliffhanger that it kind of leaves on, I think will be interesting. I want to see where this all goes, though. I want to see how these characters start to progress. Not only in terms of their powers, but just kind of the tug, the push and pull of it all, of these characters kind of going from loving each other and being together to not being together, and all of the nuances and problems that come with that stuff. I'm really interested to see where all of that goes. What I was most interested in, though, like overall, that honestly probably nobody's gonna talk about. Oh, by the way, Kate is like I mean, she's cool. I like what they're doing with her so far. But what I'm most interested in so far is what are they gonna do about Jordan? And what are they gonna do about her being Kate's killer, particularly? Because to me, Kate still knowing that she was not killed. I keep saying killing. That she was hurt by Marie. To
Mm-hmm.
me, I think that can go somewhere very interesting, especially with the sister and stuff like that. I think some of those plot elements can be really cool. But Jordan, her coming out and say it being ranked number one, what does that do for the rankings? And then what does that do for like the dean who thinks their rankings are important? Like you see the dean at the end, he kind of like walks off in a very like mild manner, like
Yeah.
kind of just like okay, like kind of just like okay. I'm very interested to because I think something is gonna happen there. I'm just hoping we see some of the dean's powers. I I hope like his powers are like so cool because like I like the buildup that they're doing. It's gonna be really shitty if you're getting this like weird
And he's just a
ominous
calculator, a
buildup,
human
and
calculator.
it's gonna be really weird. Like I need it to be something that's kind of either like oh god, like that's what he can do, or just kind of like something new and interesting. But yeah, overall, I like these first three episodes. I'm really interested in the next episode after where this episode left off. Again, I want to say rest in peace to the actor that played Andre. I really like the character in the first season, and I like the way that they're utilizing the character this season, kind of as the heart and the motivation behind everything. So yeah, I mean, I'm digging it so far. I'm interested to see this next episode.
All right, well, that was our kind of, review or kind of just overall feelings on the Gen V Season 2 premiere. If you've seen it, please let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, click the bell, all that. We greatly appreciate it as always. And yeah, be sure to leave your thoughts down there. But the next topic we got is obviously a new episode of Peacemaker just dropped, episode 5. And in this episode, we follow the hijinks that kind of resulted in Chris and Amelia Harcourt meeting up at the end of the last episode.
Yeah,
And what ends up happening
instantly
is,
we open up to it.
yeah, we're like right off the bat really
Well, that's
following
not the
it.
opening. The
No, the
opening
opening is the funeral of
yeah, the
Rick
funeral,
Flag,
of Rick Flag.
and building
Which, by the
kind of.
way, Rick Flag senior.
What about him?
Any kind of emotion for your son's funeral? You don't want you don't want to show any kind of like.
I mean, it looked like it was over for
He's
quite
just
a
there.
while.
He's there for fucking business. He's like
Well, that
fucking
too.
talking to Amelia Harcourt.
He's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, we open up with that, but soon after, Peacemaker comes in, and they're all set up. All of them are kind of, posted up, ready to take Peacemaker, take him in. And, in the middle of all this, like, Peacemaker is trying to maneuver his way, because he knows, like, something could be up, something could be going on. And he goes there, even though Amelia Harcourt, it's revealed later that, copacetic is kind of this code word for, like, don't show up. And he goes there and shows up at only to get the finality of how Amelia feels about him. That is the one reason he shows up. Makes sense, but he starts, they get kind of tired of his bullshit, and they all want to just take him down, right? So they're like now going after him, and they're shooting tranquilizer darts at him. Judo Master is posted up in the back with the biggest gun. Well, not the biggest gun. We'll talk about that later.
Which confuses the shit out of me. You could have had some Argus dude do that shit. And you could have had Judo Master.
Judo Master is clearly probably far more qualified of a marksman and things like that. So that's what I would guess. Judo Master is probably good at
something that tells
everything. What do you mean?
Okay.
It's no different with like Peacemaker. Peacemaker is also
is a marksman,
but he's also a combat fighter. Like he is a trained combat fighter.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird that they that's where they put Judo Master. I don't know. That was weird.
I guess. It results in Rick Flag calling Sasha Bordeaux to kill Peacemaker, and it's finally revealed. I was waiting for this. I was wondering if she was gonna have some accident and they would experiment on her eye, but no, she already has it. She has a robotic eye, and it's revealed she's kind of very cybernetically enhanced. And before she, pretty much, does the thing to Peacemaker, Hardcore steps in, knocks Peacemaker out, and that's how they're able to get him in instead of having to, take him, murk him. And yeah, this leads to Peacemaker and Rick Flag having a discussion. I don't quite remember if it's before all this. I guess it would be before all this. 𝙧𝙀𝙀, man. So 𝙧𝙀𝙀 is getting hunted by 𝙑𝙄𝙆𝙀 with the fattest barrel on a gun I think I've ever
I wanted to see what
seen.
he was putting in those fucking barrels.
He was probably taking a handful of shotgun shells and just fucking putting them in.
That's what I'm saying. I wish they
shoots all of them. And yeah, 𝙑𝙄𝙆𝙀 is trying to hunt 𝙧𝙀𝙀 as the primal eagle, and we all saw this as a joke of a manifestation of his own mind, of his crazy antics and behavior, forcing him to think 𝙧𝙀𝙀 is this thing that he wasn't because of what John Economos did, until it's revealed. Number one, when he shot the eagle, knew it wasn't 𝙧𝙀𝙀. We're not taking 𝙧𝙀𝙀 out like that. No. There's no way. He shoots an eagle, right? The eagle dies. And then 𝙧𝙀𝙀 comes out of nowhere. And I'm like, there he is. Like, I knew it was 𝙧𝙀𝙀. And then another eagle comes out of nowhere. And it is revealed our 𝙧𝙀𝙀 is indeed the primal eagle. This makes so much more sense in retrospect. I don't even know if this was the entire plan with 𝙧𝙀𝙀, but like, it makes more sense why he is combative, and like, he actually knows how to like take down a fucking human being. Like, he did it in the last season multiple times. He did it in this season. He did it in like 1v8 in this season. But like, he has like his own, just like, it's like this entourage of like eagles of so many, and they just start destroying 𝙑𝙄𝙆𝙀. And that's basically the entire subplot with 𝙧𝙀𝙀. Very finite, very brief, but we are shown 𝙧𝙀𝙀 is much more powerful than what meets the eye. And after all that, we catch up to Rick Flag and Peacemaker, and Rick Flag is like, is throwing haymakers at bro.
He's just
like,
going to town.
He's
straight up Batman the Dark Knight interrogation.
Yes, he's trying to beat Chris to a cherry slush, dude, and it's ridiculous. And Hardcore, asks John Economos to get him in the system for arrest. So they can't kill him. They have to arrest him first and make sure all the charges are completed and all that. And John Economos does this. This gets Chris out.
Which confuses the hell out of me, because they knock his ass out at the park. They have all that time to kill him if they really wanted to kill him.
Rick Flag wants to.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
he
Rick
has
Flag
all
clearly
that time to kill him.
Wants to, like...
Does he, though?
Bro, he wants to beat this man.
He's not trying hard enough. This motherfucker sucks at his job.
That's Creature Commandos. Yes, that was the point. He is not as bright as his son. Like, that is his thing. He's nowhere near as bright as his son. And so what ends up happening
seem like very stupid and unprofessional. And
well, they're under not anyone as smart as Amanda Waller. And so this leads Chris to be released and picked up by Adebayo, and it Adebayo takes him to
the chauffeur this season.
Man, she's
driving
just
everybody
cruising, brother. And she drives him to the lake house, or I don't even know what it's called.
Cabin.
Yeah, I guess it's like a cabin. And before he tells him to go, right? He tells him to leave, and he's writing his goodbye note because he is now, everything's just going so wrong. Amelia told him, like, straight up, like, she has no feelings for him. And that was the last confirmation he needed to go to the universe where she does care about him, and he does have his brother, and his dad does love him, and all these things. And that's the final nail in the coffin. He goes, takes the quantum, the QUC device that makes the portal, and he closes it behind him and goes off into that universe, leaves a note saying his goodbyes. This got me really emotional, man. And specifically Vigilante's reaction. Listen, knowing Vigilante and knowing how he acts to certain things, and he's stated multiple times throughout the show that he's not into emotions. He's a psychopath that really does not think, or he's not empathic in that way, but he always seemed to really care about Chris, whether or not it was like from an emotional perspective or not. He always seemed to really want Chris, and his reaction to reading that note crushed me. Like, it actually did. And it seems like it's that motivation that is needed to get these 11th Street kids back to go after Chris, because while Hardcore might not love him in that way, they all care about him. Like, all of them truly, they're the only people on that earth that truly
Hardcore does not want to be with this man at all, but like, she's the one that kind of saves him out of that situation.
She saves him out of that situation, and she knows like he's tortured. Like, he's not, he's just a product of the behavior,
his environment.
Yeah, of his environment, of his upbringing. And with the help of Vigilante Adebayo, I'm pretty sure the episode 5 trailer confirmed we're getting Vigilante in the suit. Finally, I was going insane. I was fiending. I was foaming at the mouth.
He's gonna do something other than being the guy that's there?
Other than getting doors from Lowe's, they're on their way. Chris goes off, and that's where the episode ends. I'm so curious. Number one, we're all we're all blind now. We are all going in blind. Everyone that got to watch the show early only got 5 episodes. So from 6 through 8, we're all going to be experiencing this pretty much for the first time. And I'm curious where this goes. If the whole theory of the other Earth will end up becoming true, what we might see, what because I'm pretty sure in the trailer, Argus and them are also in the hub, the dimension thing, looking for Chris. So I'm curious, what dimensions might they slip into, and what hijinks happens, and how they get Chris back if they do. Like, this is like, I'm so curious where Chris will end up. Will he still be he could very well end up not in the DCU, and these characters kind of just go off into a different universe, and that's maybe how Gunn can tell his little like pocket story. Or it comes back, and how do they do that? Like, do they fight against Peacemaker's family? It's so like, oh man, I'm so curious where this ends up going and how wild these next couple episodes get, because now they're really after Peacemaker in an entirely different environment, an entirely different universe. How will that affect anything? I'm so curious. If that theory ends up being true, like
Judo Master is the only one there first.
Yeah, Judo Master walked in there,
which confuses me, because how does he know where to go?
What do you mean?
If he ends up there, I mean, he might just be stranded in that little like.
What if he's just following Peacemaker?
Dimension.
Unless Peacemaker just walked in there in a split second, but like he could just follow Peacemaker in there.
That's kind of what I was like thinking, but yeah, you're kind of right, yeah.
Or he could be stuck. Who knows?
Yeah,
but
he'll probably be the first one there. So
yeah, that's where the episode concludes. Our 11th Street kids, it took Chris literally leaving their lives for them to come back together and actually do something with one another, because so far up in this season, they've all been pretty on their own, whereas in the first season, they were all like on like particularly put on a specific objective together. Vigilante was the only one that wasn't, but Vigilante is always going to show up for Peacemaker. Like, he loves the guy. But yeah, in this season, they're all trying to, go in their own paths in their careers. And it took this, gigantic thing for Chris to do, and for them to come back and realize, how much they really care about him, and how much they will put their feet forward for him and go after him. And so that's where the episode ends. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was great. I thought like it was not. There wasn't a dull moment in this episode. It was constantly entertaining me, and the way it ends, it was emotional and makes me so interested in this new universe and what could be unraveled, and the potential conflicts with like Peacemaker and his family that could happen. I'm very curious what happens, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, go ahead and leave your thoughts on how much you like this episode of Peacemaker.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty fucking mid if I'm being quite honest with you guys. I thought not a
Ooh.
lot happened in this episode. I thought there was a ton of filler and a ton of mid in this episode. I think the stuff with Vigilante, yeah, I wish it was hitting me like it hits you, but bro, Vigilante is such a ridiculous character. It's hard for me to even like believe and like
I think
really
that's oh you don't
sit into that.
that's why it
I,
hits. Like that's why
I
he's
understand. I
so
understand that,
ridiculous. Seeing
but
him
it just
cry
feels.
is like,
I
wait,
understand that.
whoa, like I've
I
never
understand that,
seen
but no,
this. Like I never
okay.
would have expected this. Like I never would have
I
expected seeing Vigilante like ball, like straight up, like
I literally would, but I literally would expect him to do that over like his pet owl. Like I don't know, but again, that stuff isn't hitting me. The whole idea of like them trying to capture our Peacemaker and then like wanting to kill him, but then not wanting to kill him and wanting to find out more about the portal dimension shit as an
what are you talking
excuse
about?
to go kill him and stuff
Oh,
like that. Like it's
they
like that
weren't.
stuff is just
No, they
really
weren't
it's
trying to
not do
kill him ever. Rick Flag. I don't think you understand.
yeah
Argus
that's what
was
I'm talking about.
not.
I'm
Rick
separating
Flag
the two, but
wants
I'm putting
to
them in the
murk
same
him.
plot because they're the same plot. I get what yeah. And again, the stuff for Rick Flag is just not working for me at all. It doesn't feel real at all. It feels very tacked on, and it's not coming through with the conviction that it needs to come through with, at least for right now. For me to really sit into that
What
scenario,
more do you
those
need?
scenarios, those plot elements, and really
I'm
sink into
curious.
them,
You
they just
wanted
don't
like
feel
a
very
flashback
concrete.
episode of them, probably
No, they just don't feel
of
very
Rick Senior and
concrete, and I
Junior.
don't
I'm
know if
saying, is that what you?
no. I
So
just for me, it's just not feeling very concrete. I don't know if it's the acting. I don't know if it's the just like the storytelling and plot elements. But yeah, I'm not buying into that shit at all. Um, but what I am buying into is Peacemaker and his yearn for this better life. I really do believe it when you see him
man, can
kind of
we?
walking.
He's really going through it. Like I'm thinking
I
about
mean,
it.
there
I'm
isn't
like,
much.
Jesus. Like he
Yeah,
has
yeah, yeah,
constantly been running, getting hurt. Like he had that one
yeah.
day in the other
I like.
universe, and that felt like the fucking
I
breath
mean,
of
yeah,
that
we
we
just saw
needed.
him. I mean, peace. I just saw like a tweet the other day that was like, Peacemaker was wearing the same clothes for like the last 3 episodes, and I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, that's about how fast the story's moving too. And I
30-minute
again, like I
episodes.
feel all of that stuff. I feel all of that stuff. Him wanting to go back to the other universe when he goes back there at the end of the episode, and like he's like, I got a pet eagle, and his brother's all like chastising him about it and stuff. It's like it reminds him. It really. I like how much of a whiplash it feels like whenever he goes back into that other universe. Like
Yeah,
he's immediately met with like love, like immediately every time. And I like that, and it makes that actually feel real and concrete. But again, tons of filler in this episode. Just the cyborg woman with the eye, great, use it. I don't know, whenever you want. But I don't. I'm not really moved at all. I'm hoping 6, 7, and 8 can really move the story and progress it to a point where everything feels like it's coming together and the investment is a lot more there.
I
But
am
yeah,
wondering
right
where this
now after
goes.
these
Like
first,
I wonder
yeah,
how this
I am wondering
lands.
how it's gonna I'm really wondering what it's gonna be like when they get to that other universe. I don't know, I'm just we could be totally like off base with the whole theory, which would be kind of
And
like
this just
even
be a
funnier.
what? Just
It
a
would be
perfect
very. It would
universe.
be
Like,
like, oh, we're like yeah, we're nerds,
what
but
does that
like,
say about
yeah,
us? Like,
yeah. Um, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a strong episode by any means. I actually think it's one of the weaker episodes to me. I think the ending that you were talking about with the 11th Street kids coming back together, I think it didn't hit at all for me. Partly because I think you have a scene earlier in the season of them all coming together on a
but that was like a
rooftop,
one-time
and
thing.
like,
Clearly, like a get
yeah, but again,
together.
it's the same. It's
But
supposed to be a similar
that's where I'm
feel,
that's where I'm
and
excited is to see them again working together. Like I'm so excited to see them finally like they're doing their thizzle together that they
I
weren't that
mean,
they haven't gotten to do.
and I'm waiting to see it. But for now, all we got is Tim Meadows' titty jokes and John Economos constantly sweating, and Frank Grillo just being Frank Grillo. Like I mean, right now
Frank Grillo putting his knee
I'm not
inside of
very. Yeah, he
Peacemaker's mouth.
fucked him up in that interrogation room.
He
Disgusting.
did.
Um, yeah, I'm hoping that it could just start to pick up because right now I'm very I'm almost checking out. I'm gonna be honest. I am almost checking out.
I'm gonna echo what I said in the last episode, which is that okay, like I do agree with you that some of these episodes there's not much happening, which is okay. You know, if that makes the episode go
I'm fine
down
with
for
not
you
much.
or not,
I just
that's
think
what I'm
there
saying.
isn't enough.
That's what
Or
I'm saying.
they're-
If that
or
brings
or
it
the little that they are
down
putting
for
out
you,
isn't substantial enough to excuse, a whole episode based on it or
yeah,
whatever.
I do agree with that sentiment, but I also think like I'm not gonna lie. If I got to binge these first 5 episodes, I'd be kind of on a high. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like if I just got to
It
go
would be
through
very
it,
easy to binge. They're very, especially the stretch of like middle episodes. They're
from
very
2 to
short.
now, it's like 30 minutes. They're
Um,
like 30-minute episodes.
they're very short, but also, I mean, while that's good for the binge, I think that's a detriment at its week to week release, and I think
Yes, I
that
do
is
agree.
partly of what's making me feel like that. I said earlier before even recording that I think this show would have fared off a lot better doing the Gen V release and releasing 3 episodes first and then continuing on, because I think episodes 4 and 5 you kind of get a good view on the story elements after the first 3 episodes, the whole Rick Flag, all the motivation, everything that's there after the first 3 episodes. And I think 4 and 4 is particularly where it starts to shift in a different story direction and then 5 I just think is like kind of like filler. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's that week to week and getting these short episodes that aren't doing a lot story wise, that's really making it feel like kind of exhausting in a way, or kind of like just like you've been playing the waiting game for a little, like it feels like you've been playing the waiting game for a little bit too long. But
I mean, to be fair,
yeah, I'm hoping
I would have
that
strongly
it can,
disliked for Chris to just go into the universe and stay there within the first 3 episodes.
and I'm not right. I'm not saying that.
Like I do want that
should be the
conflict
case,
for that to feel earned, for that to feel like it
I
built
do
up.
think that the storytelling episode to episode, I don't think it's particularly very good, and especially
I don't think we're telling many
it's a downgrade
stories
from the first
outside of.
season.
I don't think it's telling. Well, I think it's juggling far more than the first season. That could be to its detriment, depending on how this season ends up going. But as for
Yeah,
Chris's
but even
story,
with
I'm
like trying to balance the DCU
just as invested
into it all, I feel like they're doing a good job, like kind of just doing little things to do it and not kind of making it feel like homework as much. Like, so I don't even think that's the issue. I really just think it's just the way that they're going episode to episode with the story. Because I didn't feel like this at all with the first season, and maybe that did have to do with me being able to just binge it. I didn't watch it in its weekly
and
release.
like
I watched it
the shock factor.
binging it.
We really didn't expect Peacemaker to be like to have
and
that
new
flavor that it
characters,
has, that rock,
like,
that
they're
like
kind of
real
building out the
hard
characters and
edge to
such.
it. Yeah. And like, as much as we can harp on Vigilante for not staying in his suit, like we didn't know Vigilante going into season 1 of Peacemaker. So that was like a revelation to a lot of us. Whereas here it's like now we kind of want him in the suit. It's like I want Vigilante in the suit. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I'm curious how this wraps up exactly. Where some of these characters end. I'm wondering where they end off. Maybe like some of them kind of die. Maybe some of them end off in a place where we
I
get a
doubt he's
season
willing
3.
to kill any of the 11th Street kids.
Yeah,
James
I
Gunn,
can't think
you
of
wouldn't
any.
do it. You wouldn't.
I can't think of any. I don't think death is at all necessary for stakes. I think you can have stakes through emotion, through character work, and I think so far what they're doing with Peacemaker in particular, I think that is working as just as well as the first season. Now, as for the other characters, I think she's a bit of a downgrade. Adebayo was phenomenal in the first season. Like she was great. And then Harcourt I think is an upgrade. But Vigilante is kind of the same. He's kind of the same. So overall, like it's trading off a little bit. But I'm still interested in honest, the titular character.
I think this show would be faring out so much better right now if it was just for the whole Rick Flag story element to feel better. I think that lacking what you were just talking about, the real stakes, is the problem right now. Is that it doesn't truly, and this is my issue, it doesn't truly feel like Peacemaker's in danger, so he has to run away and do all these things and all this stuff. And then at the same time, I end up not giving a fuck about Rick Flag Sr. Like simultaneously.
I don't think I don't think we're supposed to particularly care about Rick Flag Sr., but rather care more about.
No, but I'm supposed to be at least like intrigued, and I'm really not. I really think this show could like not have him at all, and I would be just as interested as I am right now. I think the whole other universe stuff is the real interesting stuff, and Peacemaker's turmoil with that, I think that is.
Well, yeah, that's his actual character stuff.
And that's what I'm saying.
In the main universe, if the only character thing is Harcourt. That's really the only thing. If the Rick Flag stuff
was just another thing I was interested in, I feel like I would be feeling a lot better than I do now. But I feel like there isn't enough for me.
Are you saying like just the whole Argus thing in general?
Yeah, I
could see that. I could see that.
The whole thing is kind of like wish-washy, and at the same time, there's nothing very intriguing about it. Like when Homegirl had the robotic eye, I was like, I mean, that's cool. But I was like, it wasn't like something that really made me like intrigued in her or anything. Like I was just kind of like, okay, whatever.
Kind of expected,
but again,
me neither. But
okay, well, I did not at all. But again, like I just feel like the reason I feel this way is because
we need to talk about this. You just reminded me of something.
Oh,
what's going on? What's going on with Sasha and Rick Flag?
Yeah. Hold on. Before we get to that, I also want to say, Red Saint Wild. Why was he even here?
To kill Eagle. He just wasn't prepared for that motherfucker to show up with 20 other ones. Like, bro, there was some big ass Eagles in there too. Like
diligence. We don't even do the due diligence to actually introduce this character. We just throw him in here.
Yeah, it's clearly to feel like give Eagle a little subplot thing, a subplot, little action.
And I gotta get into it. I did not care. And honestly,
it's so brief.
I don't really.
It's so brief.
Honestly, honestly, I don't really care about an Eagly subplot at all.
No, I don't care about
Eagly. I like Eagly, but like when you give me too much, I feel like I start to like.
I don't think it was too much at all. It's very brief. We're not spending whole episodes on Eagly.
For lack of a better term, not too much, but just more than
than you need or.
More than meets the eye, more than him just being, the sidekick and pet Eagly. Like when you give me like an entire subplot around him, it starts to feel like we couldn't be allocating this time anywhere else. Usefully.
I guess I can see that.
Like I don't know, I find myself in that predicament a lot. But go ahead and talk about the whole Rick Flag.
So Sasha towards the end of the episode seems to start kind of flirting with Rick Flag, and here's what I think it's leading to, and I am very excited at the possibility of this. I think this is all fake, number one, and Sasha is simply trying to level up. She is trying to take his position, and she's gonna make checkmate. That's her thing. That is Sasha Bordeaux's. That is what she's known for in the comics. It's for creating this group of Black Ops individuals called Checkmate. And I was wondering, what's her point in here? Like, what's her point in Argus? Like, if she's an Argus, why isn't she leading Argus? She is a trained, like, weapons expert, and she is, this is what she does. And so for her to be under Rick Flag, it's like, that's a weird inclusion. And that told me everything. I think she is going to take that man's position somehow, some way, or maybe not. Maybe she goes off to another job. Maybe she gets hired at another job, and that's how she creates Checkmate. But it seems like they are planting seeds. First you reveal the eye, then you make her kind of flirt with Rick Flag. Now I'm like, what's going on here? Is she trying?
Which, can I be honest with y'all? I was completely disgusted by.
Of what?
I was completely disgusted by the thought of somebody flirting with Rick Flag. Somebody that looks like that flirting with Rick Flag. I don't know why. I don't know if it's Frank Grillo, but like I was just like, ew. I was like gross.
He's too old or something?
Yeah, like I was just like, no. Like I was just like not feeling like when that happened, I was like so uncomfortable. I was like, bro, ew, like what the fuck?
Yeah, so that happened. But yeah, those were our thoughts on episode 5 of Peacemaker. Tell us what you guys all thought. Did you like it? Did you not? What do you think about this season so far? Yeah, go ahead and leave your thoughts down there. And please like, subscribe, click the bell, all that. If you like this type of content and you're enjoying the show or enjoying and want to see us more or talk about it more. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below as always. But now we're going to get into the final topic and briefly give our quick thoughts on a movie that released over the weekend or over this past weekend. And that is The Long Walk. It's a Stephen King adaptation. I forget who directed. Francis Lawrence directed it. He's obviously very well known for like the Hunger Games movies, I Am Legend, things like that. You could see it in here for sure. This is written by J.T. Mulner, who just wrote Strange Darling. There's talent all over this thing. I mean, the cast is great. We've got Cooper Hoffman. We got David Johnson, Mark Hamill. It looked good from the trailers, and boy oh boy, was the movie good.
Happy to report.
Thumbs up. Happy to report. This was great. One of my favorite movies of the year. I can't remember if it made my top 10.
Saying this while all the bad reviews of him are coming out too. Is
Jordan Peele did not direct that movie. Jordan Peele did not direct that movie.
I like how we have to give a PSA now.
Because it plastered his name all over it, dude.
Yeah. Now the PSA has to go out.
Yeah. I loved The Long Walk. I thought it was, gut wrenching. It had great stakes. The character work was so nuanced with very little dialogue. And I thought David Johnson, man. First, Rye Lane. If you haven't seen Rye Lane, highly recommend Rye Lane. That was one of my favorite movies of that year. I'm pretty sure it came out in 2021. Pretty sure it was on Hulu. And then Alien Romulus. He was so great in that. He was such a great droid. So one of the best droids. Good. Easily one of the best droids. And then here, listen, all I'm going to say is if you bought into the David Johnson stocks, we're at an all-time fucking high right now, okay?
We're that gif
phenomenal.
Bro on the phone kicking his feet up with hella money coming in, like, bro. Like,
yeah, he was phenomenal in this movie. Like, oh my goodness. He was so great. And this movie could have so easily been repetitive with this kind of, I don't want to call it Battle Royale, but, there's only one person alive at the end of The Long Walk.
Yeah.
And so, like a bunch of people are going to die. And that could have been so repetitive. And, did it feel like that sometimes? Sure, like you're going to have some of that in here. But they kept it refreshing when they could. And, yeah, man, just this kind of brotherly bond that him and Cooper Hoffman's character have in here is just, it's so great. It's heartwarming. There are moments in here that are horrifying, that are gut-wrenching, that are hilarious. I mean, it is really like you're pretty much like really on this walk with these characters and this journey, and you feel every emotion along the way, and it delivers that in tenfold and in spades. And I could not take my eyes off of it. By the end, I'm so glad that by the end it didn't leave me like with this exhausting feeling of most movies that are really tragic. It
kind of left you on a little bit more.
Yeah, it tugs on your heartstrings. but you're overall like very affected by the film in a very
Yeah,
satisfying way. I really enjoyed it. It's in my top 10 of the year. That was
yeah.
amazing. Go ahead and give your quick thoughts on The Long Walk.
It's definitely in my top 10 too. I think it's in my top 5. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought the lead performances from David Johnson and Cooper Hoffman especially were really good. I thought some of the score and soundtrack was really good in certain parts, really investing, really gets you in that mood of the whole thing. And yeah, the movie's like it's raw. It could have easily been repetitive. It's literally called The Long Walk. It could have just been one long walk. It could have felt like one long walk, but it didn't. It really felt like a journey between, characters, their their life in this world, um
Mm-hmm.
how they view this world, and all these different characters, and all their different experiences uh being shared into a culmination of ultimately what's kind of like the core of this movie is that very human, very self thought, self thinking attitude that you know is woven throughout the movie. And I think the real special thing here is David Johnson's performance, but I also think the screenplay is really special. Like I think multiple moments throughout this movie, there's just like really good moments of dialogue and some really hard hitting lines.
Yeah, that
And
just hits you in the heart. It really does.
yeah, they just hit you in the heart. And I think that's a good encapsulation for the overall movie, is because I mean it really does hit hard in those more emotional moments, especially in the back half of the film. They hit really hard. And I think it's that journey with the characters and whatnot that really make it feel like that. I think the characters have like a good amount of nuance. Multiple characters have some different journeys that they go through that can kind of be they can kind of be they can kind of be predictable. They can kind of be spotted from a mile away, but at the same time, it's given the right amount of time and the right amount of depth to make it feel like something that is more than just what's on the surface. Gut wrenching again. I think the score again does a really good job setting that mood of like this like
Yep.
kind of like harrowing and like melancholic feel of the whole ride. And I think like by the end you really start to see that it's this like agonizing journey, and like with this like dystopian feel of like just like a warped world that these people are living in.
Yep.
And I like it. It's a story about friendship, it's a story about hardship, and it's a story about the cost that there is of living in this world. And I really just like this movie. Like throughout, I was just so hooked. There wasn't a point where I was like taken out
Bored or
of it, or
dull
or a
yeah.
point where I was ever bored or anything like that. I think it's really good. I think again the two
Mhm.
performances, especially David Johnson, it's that kind of convincing performance you see from like some of the goats. Like honestly,
Yeah,
like
and you
from
go,
these
this
two lead
kid's gonna be
performances,
something, and you go
like it's so good. And
as
again,
long
the
as he
heart and
takes
the
his career
humor.
seriously, sky fucking high for David Johnson. That's all I'm gonna say. Sky high. Hey, and I just want to say,
Yeah,
we're talking about Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson. Let me give a shout out to Ben Wong. He was great in the movie. His character, I
I really
loved his
like Ben Wong's
character.
character.
He had such
There's
a
multiple again.
personality,
There's
and
multiple characters in this movie
yeah,
that were like really good, and it's because of they have just the right amount of nuance. They have just the
yep.
right amount of character detail and little mannerisms
And I think the setup
that help that
also
feel a
just
lot
helps
more
make you
fleshed out.
intrigued in not only the world, but like who are these characters in the world? They're not all the same. It's not like a bunch of military soldiers just on a long walk. No,
Yeah,
these are people from different parts of the country, all, coming together to take part in this. And some of these people, might be connected to certain characters that are important. Some of these people might not. Some of these people might be unimportant at all. Some of these people might have traumatic pasts or tragic things that have happened, or they might have been living a life of like solidarity and peace, and now they're in here.
yeah.
Like it's just so many things that
Yeah, I think
help it.
that's one of the things that like really just becomes the strong point of the film is the culmination of those characters, and they
Mm-hmm.
kind of almost make the movie immersive in a way. It really feels like these are real characters in a real setting, not a not our setting, but a make believe setting that
Yeah, it
feels
does
very
this
fleshed out,
thing to
feels
you
very real.
with some of the characters where you're along the journey and so invested until boom someone dies and you remember like, oh wait, like everyone's gonna die in this movie besides one. Like it
Yeah,
keeps hitting you
yeah,
as soon as you're invested. It pulls the rug from under you and you remember like, oh my goodness, like this, like something has to happen to one of these guys, like it has to. And it really shoots you back into the reality of things as much as you care about all the characters and stuff. The situation at hand is so like horrifying that
yeah.
it's so compelling. I loved it
It's
so
it's
much.
it's really it's really compelling. I think the at the heart of the film, is like they obviously David Johnson and Cooper Hoffman's characters, and again, like I think the core of the movie, like you just feel it, and I think they do a good job sprinkling just enough like humor here and there, not to make it feel like any tonal whiplash, but to give it almost that beautifully dark and melancholic feel that kind of encapsulates just the whole situation, honestly. But yeah, I think this is like like it's an engrossing movie. It's in my
Must
top
watch.
5 of the
To
year.
me, if you
Um,
haven't watched this movie, please do yourselves a favor and go watch The Long Walk this weekend and not him. I'm sorry.
yeah.
That was uncalled for. that
Yeah, but I do implore you to go watch The Long Walk
it's
because
so great.
it is as advertised. It is it doesn't feel like a long walk, but it sure is
No.
a very painful journey to
Yeah,
the
there's
end.
it's kind of
Um
gruesome. I wasn't
and
expecting some of the kills
yeah,
and some of
yeah,
the way these
there's some
people
gruesome kills.
get out. Like
I love
it's
the
raw.
filmmaking of this. Again, I love the script. I love some of these dialogue moments, the score. I think is an absolutely phenomenal movie. Yeah, it
What
was
would you
such a
give it
joy
out
to
of
watch.
5?
Out of 5, I would probably give it 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Maybe 4.5. But I really love this movie. I'm definitely gonna teeter between 4 and 4.5. But definitely somewhere in that middle. But like, yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was a great experience from beginning to end. I mean, when that title card popped up, I was
I was
already
like,
like there.
oh, is that
Yeah,
title
and that
card?
title card popped up damn near like a half an hour into that movie, and I was
Yeah,
there. I
yeah.
was like, "Give me it all." I was like, like, geez, if this the kind of movie it's gonna be, I'm settled in. And man, I'm so happy that I watched this movie. I think and I think it's probably one of the better Stephen King adaptations. Probably. I mean, I
Oh,
haven't
for
watched them all,
sure.
but if I had to
I mean, we
guess,
got the
it
Running Man
probably
this year too. What if we go 2 for 2 with back-to-back Stephen King bangers? But yeah, I'd give it four
I
out of
love
five
it.
as well. I was teetering on like if it's 3.5, but it's so engrossing and like
Yeah.
the character work, while some of these characters don't have a ton, you just you get them. You're connected and
It's just
you're
enough. It's just
yeah,
enough.
you're along the
The
walk. And
performances, the dialogue, it's just enough.
yeah, the execution is also so well done that like I couldn't do the 3.5. I had to bump it up to 4. The execution just, it landed, everything worked. There wasn't a moment where I was like face palming or like this is dumb or like, no, like everything was so executed well when it could have for sure reached levels of ridiculousness and stuff like that
Boredom
with the
could have reached levels
concept,
of boredom. It could
repetitiveness
have
and all
reached,
that, and it
yeah.
didn't. So I'd give it a 4 out of 5 as well. But if any of you at least saw The Long Walk, go ahead and let us know what you thought about the movie. And if you haven't, go watch it. Highly advise you to go watch it.
Please,
It is
please.
so great, especially if you got nothing to do
Great
this
movie.
weekend and you want to watch something. Go out to the theater, watch it. It's not long. Go watch a short movie that's compelling, that really hits the feels, and it's one of the best of the year, man. It's in my top 10, and yeah, really enjoyed everyone's performances and all that. And yeah, once again, if you saw it though, let us know your thoughts. We love discussing with you all down there, so jump down in the comments below. and let us know anything. But other than that, guys, that has been this episode of the Double Feature Podcast. We talked about Gen V, we talked about Peacemaker, we talked about The Long Walk. Tell us anything else you want us to talk about, maybe. Or, we don't know what we're going to talk about next week besides Peacemaker, but it's only a matter of time before something crazy comes out, some big news drops, a trailer drops, something comes out. But guys, if you made it this far into this and you haven't, what are you doing? You just watched us yap for like an hour long. Like the video, subscribe, click the bell, all of that. It helps us out a ton. It's completely free. We would greatly appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on any of the topics that we discussed today. But other than that, it's been your boy Keezy.
Big boy Chaos.
And hopefully we see you all in the next one.